You're listening to Childcare Sights and Sounds, presented by Dani Christine Inc., a podcast made for childcare providers by childcare providers. Greetings. Hello. Welcome back to the Childcare Sights and Sounds podcast. It is just me today. I am your only host this evening, this morning, today, next year, tomorrow, whenever you're listening to this. I am your host, Dani, and Gigi is normally my co-host, but she is not here today. Gigi is busy. We are both very busy, which is why you have not received a new podcast episode in a couple of weeks. I do not want you guys to think that we are abandoning the podcast or we're not taking it seriously or being consistent with it, even though we aren't being consistent with it. But it was the holidays, so please give us some grace. Right after the holidays, we have been experiencing this crazy society that's supposed to be America. There's a lot of craziness that happened within the first 10 days of 2021. But Happy New Year. With that, Happy New Year. I wanted to jump on here and just touch base with our audio-only listeners specifically, and also, my YouTube viewers will actually see a video before this podcast episode replay comes out, because I will be posting on Sunday. But I did want to touch base with our audio-only listeners because it's been a few weeks. So since Gigi is not here, it's going to be hard to have an unscripted, off-the-top, episode that's interesting. So I'm going to make this short and sweet. I just want to fill you guys in on what you can expect from me, Dani Christine, and from childcaresites.com within the next couple, this year at least. My goal for this year, I have a few different ones, but I do plan on publishing content somewhere in some way, pretty much every day, for the whole year. If you are listening and don't know, I do have this podcast, which if you're listening, you would know that, but podcast episodes will continue to come out every Tuesday as long as we're free and able to do it. But we do have a lineup of different guests that will be joining us throughout the remainder of season 2. There's a few different guests that have already agreed to show up on this podcast, and I'm so excited to introduce you guys to them or have them on our platform if you already know them. It's really exciting whenever we do have a guest, because the reason that I bring guests onto this platform is because I know that they offer something of value that you as a childcare business owner or aspiring childcare business owner can learn from. You can learn from each guest that we bring on, or you can use their services that they provide or the products that they offer. There's so many different amazing things that come out of collaborative efforts. So I'm really just all about collaboration this 2021, and you'll see that very soon. So along with the podcast episodes, I am going to try to continue being consistent on YouTube and posting new videos to youtube.com/Dani Christine. You can watch the video replay for every single one of these podcast episodes on that channel currently, except for this episode because it does not come out until the following week. So it is an incentive, to be fully transparent, it is an incentive for you to listen audio only first. and in general, because we definitely love having the podcast streamed in its natural state, which is, on podcasting platforms. But I understand, as someone that also watches video replays on YouTube of podcast episodes, how interesting they can be. Not so much this one when it's just me speaking to a camera. And to be honest, I probably should have set up my actual camera for a good quality video. So I wouldn't blame you if you don't go back and watch this one. But anyway, in addition to the podcast episodes, you will see me being more consistent on YouTube with better video content that is planned out, strategized, conceptualized for a while. And I'm going to be working on better editing skills and making my videos more interesting to watch, incorporating some of my own real life clips and just different videos taken throughout my experiences as a childcare business owner. So I'm going to try my best to make those videos even better for you guys, and I'm excited about that. In addition to that, you will also be able to continue taking advantage of Webinar Wednesdays. I also have a bunch of presenters for webinars lined up for every Wednesday, if not every Wednesday, at least every other Wednesday. And I'll also be offering workshops on some Wednesdays that there are not webinars. So just inside scoop for audio, for our podcast listeners, the difference between webinars and workshops is that our webinars are free and usually have guests or different experts or leaders or childcare business owners that have something to teach you. Those are free resources that you can sign up for on childcaresites.com and watch those free webinars live, versus workshops are paid events that I usually open up as meetings where you can share your camera screen and actively, engage and interrupt and interject and, ask questions live. And it's more of an intimate experience because it's paid. So I'll be hosting more workshops as well as continuing to do frequent webinars for you. And then, hold on, I have a whole list of things because I sat down for hours each day to try to put this together. We also, how could I forget? We have a Facebook group. So I started a Facebook group a couple weeks ago at this point, it's probably been about a week and a half from the recording of this podcast episode. It's called Childcare Clubhouse. Obviously, it's free to get in. It's Facebook. I don't know. Some people are charging for their Facebook groups. Is that a thing? Mine is free. You can join Childcare Clubhouse. That is childcare's 2 words, Childcare Clubhouse on Facebook. Go ahead and submit your request to join in. There's so many wonderful, beautiful, inspirational childcare providers in there, as well as hungry and excited and smart, amazing people that want to be childcare providers are also in that Facebook group. Everybody is it's a very collaborative, interactive, and engaging group of people. You ask a question, it gets answered within a couple of minutes, whether that be by another childcare business owner or someone that's also in their startup process that just has the answer, or the group is not only attended to by me, there's other coaches, consultants, and service providers for childcare business owners in there that have the similar expertise to me or knowledgeable in other areas. There's so much tools and resources in there available at your fingertips for free. So I would encourage you to join that group because I sometimes offer giveaways and special special little things happen in that group at times. And of course, it's private and closed. So the only way that you would know about it is if you join in. But if you don't have Facebook, or if you don't use Facebook, like I honestly didn't for years, probably a good nearly 10 years before creating this Facebook group, I did not actively go on Facebook. I still don't. I have about 100 friend requests that I'm not accepting in my Facebook because the only thing that's on my Facebook are old embarrassing photos of myself in high school. I used Facebook in high school and that was it. And my freshman year of college. Nobody needs to see that. So if you have friend requested me on Facebook and I have not accepted, friended you, I don't even know the lingo, but if you've done that and you have not entered my personal Facebook page, trust me, you don't want to. There's nothing interesting in there. It's just embarrassing for me. So connect with me in the group Childcare Clubhouse. But if you don't have Facebook, that's okay. You can find me here on this podcast on Tuesdays, on my YouTube videos on Sundays, or on Instagram, and I have reactivated my Twitter. I'm still trying to figure out how to use it. I really sound like an older person, as if I'm not a millennial that is knowledgeable on social media, but I'm really not. But you can find me on Instagram at Dani Christine Consulting. You can find me on YouTube at Dani Christine. You can find me in my Facebook group called Childcare Clubhouse. And you can also find me on the new app called Clubhouse. There is a new app called Clubhouse that is drop-in audio, I believe is their tagline. I think it is still in its beta phase as of the recording of this podcast. And if you want to be able to use it, you have to be invited to get into the app or get let in by someone that already has it. And you have to have iOS. So if you have an Android, it's not going to work on your phone. I'm sure all of this will change soon, and it will become available to everybody. But until then, if you are using that app, you can find me hosting a room on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. and on Saturdays at 1 p.m. I'm going to try to intentionally stick to that schedule. I've noticed that I can get very easily carried away with Clubhouse app, and it is extremely addictive. So in order to avoid being on it for so many hours, like, let me tell you something. You know how if you have an iPhone, you can see your screen time. My screen time, if I'm not mistaken, my screen time went up like 80% for, I think I hit a total of 10 hours in 1 week, the first week that I found Clubhouse. And it was honestly embarrassing. I was ashamed of myself, and but I don't regret it. I don't regret it because I made so many new connections with so many amazing people, other coaches, consultants, trainers, accountants, CPAs, financial advisors, different people that can help me get to places that I need to be and can help others like you that follow my platform that I can collaborate with. This is why my 2021 is going to be so great, and yours is going to be too if you're following me, because I am able to bring you these people and resources from the connections I made, many of them from this app. So I'm thankful for that. So Tuesdays and Saturdays on Clubhouse, Tuesday mornings on my podcast, Sunday afternoons on YouTube, Wednesdays, webinars or workshops. I will be frequently posting and answering comments and stuff in my Facebook group, Childcare Clubhouse. And I will be sending you guys email newsletters as always. And a new thing that I'm trying to start up is blog posts. I want to start up blog posts because I just want a more intimate way of communicating with you guys. And I find that I express myself best through writing. So I'm going to try to commit to making a blog post weekly on childcaresites.com within the Childcare Sites network. So you have to have a Childcare Sites network membership in order to view those blog posts. It's a small monthly subscription. You get a 30-day free trial if you sign up on childcaresites.com. You go to the network tab and you can sign up right there. Included with that network membership are all the blog posts that I have ever written. You'll see them there, but also you get a monthly live Q&A meeting, or just like an open discussion meeting with me and all the other members of the network. So I'm excited for that. I'll most likely be holding them towards the end of every month. So if you join the Childcare Sites network sometime soon, you can expect your first monthly call with me to be the last week of January. So I'm excited for that, and I hope that you are too. And yeah, that's all I have for plans for 2021 as of right now, as it relates to childcaresites.com. You will be seeing me in a few different other companies' things. Like I'm about to record an episode of on somebody else's podcast. I'm going to be in a webinar next month. I'm not even comfortable. Like I want to tell you what I'm doing, but since it hasn't been done yet, like it hasn't even been recorded yet, I'm hesitant to be like, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But I do know that I will be sharing information about two different podcasts that I'm going to be featured in. I'm going to be hosting a webinar on a childcare management systems platform in February. And I'll also be a part of I'll be a part of the Leaders Lounge Summit which is also happening in February. So you may start seeing me more in different areas, and that's something I'm looking forward to. And I'm really, really excited for 2021. We're here. I'm already sitting in 2021, and from day one, aside from the craziness that is going on outside of my small bubble, I'm excited about what is to come. And I can't wait to take you all along the journey with me. And that's the reason why I'm taking time in this episode, one, to check in and let you guys know that we're all right and we haven't forgotten about the podcast, but also to let you know where you can find me. Because now that there are so many different platforms that I'm trying to tap into, if you are not following me on as many as you can, you might miss something. There might be things that I offer only to members within the Facebook group or members within the Childcare Sites network on childcaresites.com, or on the webinars or workshops. Like, there's so many different things that I really, really don't want you to miss out on. So if you can join me on as many of them as possible, I'll leave all the information about everything that I just described in the information box below. But there's also a outline of this schedule that I just explained as the very first blog post included in the very first blog post on the Child Care Sites Network. I hope this doesn't all sound too confusing. If it does, shoot me a DM. Help me help you. You can DM me on Instagram at Dani Christine Consulting. That's DANI Christine Consulting. And yeah, I guess it's time to do the secret sound. And if you don't know what the secret sound is, that is when we turn the camera off and record audio only. And the reason for that, full transparency, is because we want to entice you guys to listen on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Google Podcasts. So go do that. Go ahead and listen over there and leave a rating and review. Let us know what you love about the podcast. Give us 5 stars if you do. And if you would like to give some constructive criticism, DM me. And I'm always receptive to constructive criticism in a polite and respectful way. I'm happy to reconsider the way that I deliver messages and the way that I and what I offer if I understand what I'm doing wrong or what I could be doing better. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for all the support in 2020. I promise Gigi is coming back. We've just been really busy with the centers. We are still going through enrollment processes for our second location, mostly because thankfully, the scholarship program that we were complaining about pretty much a couple episodes back has been extended. It's been extended until February 21st. It was supposed to end January 10th here in New York. And the scholarship that I'm referring to is free childcare for essential workers that have a household income that falls under 300% of the federal poverty level. So that's a great program that the state has rolled out and made available for essential workers who actually need the support and help paying for childcare because they have to work. I do think it's unfortunate that the program has not been consistently it has not consistently lasted from the beginning of the pandemic to now. It started in April. No. When did it start? I think it started in May. It started at the end of April 2020 until June of 2020, stopped for the summer, and then restarted basically October 30th of 2020. Was supposed to end in January yesterday and is now scheduled to end in February. It's a mess. The pandemic is still going on. Cases are rising. Essential workers still got to go to work. So I think that it just makes the most sense to keep the funds available for the essential workers that need them and the programs that are providing these services. But I'm happy with what we have. I'm thankful for what we have, and I'm not going to complain today, not by myself, because that just makes me look crazy. But thank you guys so much for listening, and if you're interested in hearing what am I going to share? What am I going to share in the secret sound? I'll explain my cut. I have a cut on my hand. It looks like there's something on my knuckle. If you're watching the video replay of this, I have a huge, disgusting something on my hand, and I talk with my hands. So whenever I pick up my hand and I'm doing, everything is virtual right now, or even if it wasn't in person, I know that I feel self-conscious that somebody's looking at my hand. It's bad enough that I have not gotten my nails done in almost a year at this point. I have not gotten my nails done since March. So my fingernails are bare and stubby and chubby. But now I have this huge, disgusting looking thing on my hand. I'll explain what happened in the secret sound. If you're interested, head on over to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you stream your podcasts. Listen in on the secret sound and the rest of the episode and leave a 5-star rating and a review explaining what your favorite episode of 2020 was and why. I'd be so interested to know that so that we can deliver better episodes for you this year. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the secret sound.